Where's the best place for content on the world of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
Sporking News Podcast. With me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe.
What is going on, everybody? To the people that are live, the one person, and everyone who will watch this later, the thousands. This is Scott with Spork News Podcast, and this is a Spork of Ice and Fire, where we talk everything A Song of Ice and Fire. Plus, we do throw in some other fantasy genre type stuff, different novels, different movies, different series. We just haven't talked about them yet. Tonight, we will be discussing A Song of Ice and Fire, little Dunkin' Eggs stuff, some theories that we have that go against the grain. You know, like the three-eyed crow is really not Bloodraven, and Egg is someone special in our lives. With me tonight, though, we have the lovely Bad Takes Bojans. How are you?
Doing well, enjoying some autumn weather. It's going to be in the 60s and 50s this week. And then I'm sure it'll be below zero by next week because it was 90 last weekend. So whatever. But other than that, happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. We also have Sir Gregor McGrant.
Hello.
Yeah, that guy. What is up, Mr. Grant?
Yeah, not much. Just looking forward to talking some theories and everything. Me and Bad Takes before the stream, we were talking about theories from another TV series. So if you get a chance to check out From. It's a lot of fun.
I've been meaning to. I don't have that's Apple, right?
No,
it's not.
I think, unfortunately, it just left Amazon because the first 2 seasons were free, and it's now on MGM Plus.
Yeah,
I always thought that was
started
Apple.
off on Epics, everyone's favorite. Epics.
Love epics. Yeah, a lot of epic things.
Which it explains why the best part about From is massive on Black Twitter.
Oh, sweet!
It's like the number one show.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I mean, look at Mad Mardigan loves it, and he's Black adjacent, so he knows his stuff.
Zach's a big fan too.
Oh, great! That's awesome.
He's on a channel with someone named Nadia. I watched her stream just because he had promoted it, and I had done a speed binge of the first 2 seasons, and it's great.
And is it fantasy, sci-fi? What is it?
It's like Lost.
Oh, okay, something we can talk about. All right, I like that. We may do that one of these days, and we also have the one true king that we've been making wait. That is Stig, Stannis Baratheon Kenobi. How are you, sir?
Hi, and I don't mind waiting.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm on the couch. It's not like I'm uncomfortable.
Lounging. I like it. We also have
my leopard thong.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That with the gold medallion.
Yeah, next to the fireplace.
Yeah,
And,
bearskin rug.
I'm only wearing lotion anywhere else.
And one of those like Norwegian or like Viking thorn helmets, you know?
Yeah.
I like it.
The fluffy one.
We'll say hi to Jane, one man show. And that's about it. Okay. We moved to Tuesday nights. Not a lot of people know we're out here on Tuesdays now and starting this early, which I probably should have started at 7:30, because kids and stuff. But you know what? If you can share the stream and make sure you like, and when we're done, come back and comment, that would really help us out. We're on Rumble, I believe. And and actually I forgot I even had an Odyssey channel. So I went to Odyssey Live. So we're live on Odyssey. I don't even remember how to get there. But if it takes off, thank you, Odyssey. Tonight we will be discussing some different theories. One that Stig has been working on that involves Dunkin' Egg and also involves the main story. But before that, we've talked about it before, but I'd like to go back and really hammer out that the majority of the fandom is wrong. And Bloodraven, I don't care what George has said, Bloodraven is not the three-eyed crow. Said it, done. Many people disagree, but he tells you right out that he doesn't even remember the name. He thinks you're talking about being a Night's Watch member, and Leaf has no clue what you're talking about.
Well, if
you know?
if people that disagree with you,
Mm-hmm.
right, if it turns out they're wrong, when it's proven that you're right, you need to like let all of them know how stupid they are.
I like it.
Yeah, just tell them.
That's perfect, and I will do that.
That's the only way they'll learn.
I'm with you, man. That's perfect. What do you guys think of that before we even get into it? I'm pretty sure we
I
all
think
kind
you're
of.
wrong.
Oh God, what? Why? Huh? I thought you were part of my team. You're supposed to. You're supposed to agree with everything I say. That's what it means.
Oh, well, I agree
Take
with
his
everything
name.
that you said except for that.
Take his name and keep it in the pocket until you're proven right.
There you go.
Then you
there you
tag
go.
the hell out of them every day.
Let me. I'm sharpieing it, so this ain't coming out.
You didn't think that, huh?
I like that, Stig. Thank you very much.
You know.
Do you really not believe it though, Grant? Do you think he's not, or he is the three-eyed crow?
Yeah, I just don't think we've been given enough proof that he's
Have
not.
we been given enough proof that he is?
You know what? But both of you have a fair point because we only have a few lines.
Right. That's true.
The dream stuff does indicate that Bloodraven doesn't know about the crow. But there's also, that line from the show where Jojen says the crow is you.
Right. Right. And you've brought this up before, which I thought was brilliant.
So it could be that George actually told them something and they simplified it. Right. But like Grant said, we don't have enough to go on yet.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure we will know in book 6. I don't think that's going to be kept until book 7.
Well, and
Bran is up there now, so.
Well, people, what people say is that it's been put to rest. Oh, I'm sorry about that, buddy. Oh my God, I was hearing you on a recording of what we were just saying. I'm like, he's repeating himself, and I just stopped to let him do that. That was
That's
weird.
Hilarious.
I was like, what is he doing? He's repeating the whole thing over again.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me.
But a lot of people will bring up that George in the appendix of, I think it's a Dance with Dragons. I might have to look at that again. That he wrote Bloodraven as the three-eyed crow or something about him being, I remember someone bringing that up, but that could be anything. Like literally George has written stuff and said stuff that has come not to be what he decided on later on. So
yeah, like it turned out it was someone else all along or something. But that's what he's known as currently.
Yeah.
Or that it could be, but then again, if he's put it in there.
Well, Game of Thrones, if you go to the Game of Thrones appendix, I'm pretty sure they do the Great Houses. And I think it's Game of Thrones. It might be the next book, but they do the Great Houses. And in the Baratheons, it says Joffrey, the trueborn heir of Robert Baratheon. So like, like he definitely puts things in there that aren't true. And that's something I actually caught this week. I didn't even think of that because I've been hearing people respond with it's in the appendix, bro. He's the three-eyed raven or crow, bro. And some will say raven. So they're only show watchers.
Joffrey is a Baratheon by law, though. Because even though we know that he isn't one, it's not
right.
The Westeros doesn't know for sure.
Right. And people might believe Bloodraven would be this three-eyed crow because Bran believes it, but it doesn't mean it's true.
Well, we don't even know anymore because, hair color is no longer an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jane theory is the five-eyed raven.
Yeah, Jane, what's up? Hey, barely anybody's watching, so this is the perfect show to come on if you'd like to. Also, I bet you if you looked up Sweet Robin, it'll show him as John Aaron's true-born son, and he's definitely not his son.
Yeah,
What
might
do
be
you think? His little fingers.
Oh, he's definitely Littlefingers. The when they talk about Littlefinger, when they're talking about Littlefinger against Ned's brother, Brandon Stark, in that battle, there's a section there that talks about where Catelyn says how he was this sickly boy when he was younger, very small, but she's pretty much stating what Sweet Robin looks like.
You know what would be really twisted?
Mhm.
Because I assume Littlefinger knows this because he's not dumb. If he's trying to get Sansa to marry Sweet Robin, so he can self with Catelyn when they were younger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you think
that's
that?
interesting.
What do you think, Tina?
I would think that was a much more digestible plot than him wanting to have her marry Harry the heir and then kill his own son.
Right. But I
That I'm a
also think he's going to try to kill Harry. Like he has this weird thing going on, and I don't know exactly what his plan is, which I like. He could easily make it look like Sweet Robin dies. I mean, the kid is sickly. He might even be poisoning him. When Sansa's like forcibly making him take his medicine that he doesn't like. You know, Sweet Robin's probably a some form of a green seer. Spending so much time on a weird throne, being breastfed by his mother till he was like 20. No, until before she died.
Normal.
Oh, also, make the bad man fly could be foreshadowing. He has seen him on a dragon. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting. I like that.
There's a lot of things that George. It's not even ambiguity. He leaves himself paths he can take. What's up, Christy?
I'm thinking that the line where they say that a small man can cast a large shadow. I'm thinking that yes, he can if he's sitting on a dragon.
If he's the dragon's a massive shadow. And again, we get one of those things where we all assume this is what George is talking about, but maybe not. Do the Aarons have abilities? So I want to say in the age of heroes and things like that, there have been claims that they turned into massive eagles. There's also not the Aarons, but the family with the rune stones on their bronze. Well, it's no longer bronze. They used to wear bronze, but it's steel bronze colored plate. They put rune stones. They're down at the Gate of the Moon. They like secure that house. Oh God, what's that house name? It's the one that the friend is spying on Sansa. That's the wrong book. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't recall that. Well, while you're looking that up, my issue with the Blood Raven and the Three-Eyed Crow is I don't like the fact that they're both birds. Like, couldn't we have given Blood Raven a different nickname if he's going to be the Three-Eyed Crow?
Right. And a raven and a crow, the two are sometimes like
mistaken for each other.
Mistaken, right? But but in mythology, they're very different.
Right.
That is an interesting one. And who is the guy in the very first prologue that gets killed that I said is a replacement for John by the others? That is
Kelly McGee.
Waymar
Royce. The Royces of the Eyrie. Those guys have married into the Aarons, and there have been rumors about them having powers too.
His murder was Royce motivated.
Very true. Very true. But as you know, when you said that, let me bring this up. it's very interesting. Difference. Someone could speak. Feel free.
Well, the White Walkers were looking at Royce's sword,
Yes.
and he looked like a Stark.
Yeah, he
Right.
looks almost exactly like John.
And so that's a hint that they're looking for a sword, and it's easy to miss,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
But then they attacked the Lord Commander, which I don't think they did. I think they went for his sword.
Yeah, you've brought that up. You make a valid point. Doesn't the white look towards the sword?
Well,
But the commander's right there, so it could be either the commander or the sword he's looking towards.
No, the Lord Commander tells it later that he has cleaned the sword after the fire because it was in his bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
and then he gives it to John.
That's right.
So for whoever's in charge of the White Walkers to just do that little scheme to just kill the Lord Commander,
Mm-hmm.
there's not much to gain because he hasn't even gone ranging yet or anything. There's so they'll switch to a different commander. That's
Right.
what they're trying to achieve.
Right.
Hardly
Kirsty?
seems worth the effort.
It's Kirsty, right? I think I said it wrong before. She says Peter Baelish. Oh, I love etymology. Peter equals stone, Baelish demon, the great stone beast, perhaps. Oh, I love
Interesting.
George really thinks about etymology. I mean, if you I think you've brought it up before, Stig, different people's names meaning certain things, close to Ragnarok, gods' names.
Oh yeah, the god of virility in Norse
Mhm.
mythology is named Frey.
Yeah.
And Volder Frey's rather virile, isn't he?
Yeah,
And
he's pretty damn virile.
and Euron is a Welsh word for gold, and Daenerys is going to be betrayed for gold.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I like that one.
And then you have Val, short for Valkyrie. She looks
Yep.
like one.
Yeah, she's like this strong, present woman that can handle herself and is very competent with the sword. I mean, in their culture, you have to like kidnap the woman to make her your wife, pretty much. So you have to be pretty strong.
I mean, seems legit.
Yeah. So some cultural depictions in myth and folklore, ravens were associated with Odin, the god of wisdom, war, and death. Odin was often depicted with two ravens, Hugin and Munin, or Munin.
Yeah.
I say that
not
right?
to be confused with hugging and moaning.
Who serve as his messengers, gather information from the world for him. The presence of these birds symbolized knowledge, insight, and the mysteries of the universe. Crows, on the other hand, have been portrayed differently in various cultures. In some Native American traditions, crows were considered to be tricksters, shapeshifters, and symbols of transformation. In Japanese folklore, I always say this wrong, and I watched an anime, the Yatagarasu, a three-legged crow, was seen as a symbol of guidance and divine intervention. So that's one where it shows it being
Here's another
represented
thing.
right.
Both crows and ravens are also associated with Loki, who
Both
happens to
crows
be
and ravens?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
depending on which version you read, because it's pretty much just broad strokes, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also associated with mist and sorcery, and he's also the god of fire and trickery. And he's currently, before Ragnarok, he's in a cave, chained to a tree,
Right.
whose roots and stuff are in him. Sound familiar? And also, Bloodraven was said to use mist,
Right.
sorcery through mist.
It pretty much makes sense. I mean, Bloodraven, 1,000 eyes in one. I sometimes think of Odin, though. Also, he gave up the eye to have the knowledge of many.
Yeah, I'm also thinking that 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 one eye currently is Euron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Euron gave it up, so
Yeah, and
It's obsidian. The other eye is
in
obsidian.
in that Norse mythology, or rather
Mhm.
Ragnarok theory,
Mhm.
um, gods that die return for the final battle. Right? That's not going to happen in this. Characters aren't just going to return unless they're undead,
Right.
but they can return through bloodlines, right?
Yes.
And stuff like that, or be represented
Right.
as a different version of the other one.
Right.
And the theory is that the Mad King was Odin, because Odin dies before Ragnarok, and he
Mhm.
is called a Mad King in some of the mythologies.
Right.
And then Euron returns with one eye and says he's the maddest of all. And then
Oh,
storm
weird.
crows, and and he's going to be the final storm and all that stuff.
Right. Burn them all.
So he has returned, maybe in the shape of Euron. And Thor, being a partier who
Mhm.
sleeps with whores, uses a warhammer associated with storms, that's King Robert. He used the
Right.
warhammer. He's whoring around, partying, and Storm's End.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then
Right.
he returns, symbolically through Gendry,
Mhm.
who
who also
also
Yeah.
has
uses a hammer.
Right.
yeah, and who also has a
The
bull's
bolt.
head's helmet.
Yep.
And Thor, in one of the stories, uses the head of a bull as bait for the world serpent to basically go fishing with it.
That's
So
awesome.
there's kind of a lot of it fits
Mhm.
because it's all symbolism, right?
Right.
And
And George is huge with the past happening again. Characters from our present resemble and go through the same things as characters from the past, but maybe the outcome's different.
yeah, and there's well, when I first spotted it was Hodor, because
Right.
there is a Hodor in Norse mythology. It's a gentle giant who doesn't hurt anyone,
I
and
mean, come on.
he only hurts people when he's tricked into doing it.
Right. And that
Uh,
seems like what Hodor would do. Or he's being
so
tricked by Bran to take his body.
yeah, so that was what brought me down the rabbit hole. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the sea gods, right, is named Njord.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of a rebellion against the other gods. They lose, and he gets sentenced, I guess, or punished by being thrown ashore to live with wolves for, I think it was 9 years in the mountains.
Who does that
And
sound like?
yeah, and he's also described as genderless in a couple of the stories,
Oh,
and
man.
Oh, Jesus.
described as a pervert. And he also goes to hell and back.
You never told us that one before. Oh, gotta say
Yeah,
goodnight real quick. Keep talking.
yeah. So if that's not Theon, right?
That
He lived
that
with
is
the Starks for 9 years.
that is way too similar to be a coincidence.
Plus, Winterfell is highlands, right? That's what
Oh,
fell
yeah.
means. It's a fell landscape.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to do with winter falling like snow. So that would be the mountains, right?
I like that. And I kind of like
Yeah,
what Scott said earlier about some things being generational, like stories being retold. I think that's
yeah,
I think that's perfect, not only for, uh, a group of stories like A Song of Ice and Fire, but the fact that it's a great thing to tell people during the worst of winter or during famines when the harvest,
yeah. Oh,
spoils or whatever, to be able to say, hey, it's okay if you have a crappy life because these trials are all generational, because this future generation, this magical descendant that's going to come one day as a result of all your suffering is going to save the world or save your
yeah,
house or whatever.
yeah. I mean, several religions has that. I mean, the Norse one has that. Yeah, all the heroes and the gods are coming back to fight for us during
Mm-hmm.
Ragnarok, while
Hmm.
the Bible has the second coming of Jesus.
Yep.
during
And
the Battle of Armageddon.
I like how also like the Mad King, when you were talking about that, he threatens to destroy them all, the world, let's just say, in fire, but yet Euron is most likely going to threaten them with something coming from the water, the ocean. Like it's the different elements too.
Which is also right in the middle of the Ragnarok thing.
Right.
That,
Doesn't it start with fire?
No, sea monsters are going to rise.
That's right. That's right.
And there's also going to be a big flood, an earthquake, quakes, because the Yggdrasil, the world tree, the roots are going to start shaking.
Right.
And cause all of it.
And that'll bring the wall down.
Or it's going to flood the Riverlands or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
take them all out.
I don't know.
Down near Old Town.
So if they could, because we know the Children of the Forest have done that before with the Arm of Dorn. They caused a tsunami, right? And we know they did it at Hardhome.
Yes.
Caused a volcanic eruption there.
Yes.
As soon as the wildlings tried to build a town.
Yep. And kind of in the
yeah, but now they have Bran.
The reeds are.
So they might have gotten themselves a big pile of ammo to use for something like that.
Yeah.
Bran is definitely being duped.
Yeah.
He's not with nice people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, he is not. He's definitely being duped. No, they can't see it, buddy. I'll show him again. There you go. See? There you go. You like it? Oh, you want to try? Okay, just your arm. I don't want people seeing you.
Oh my goodness. What a big guy he is.
All right, get out of here, you little... Nothing. Bye.
You almost said bastard, didn't you?
Oh, TT. Okay, go see TT. All right, bye. I like so we have, let's start with here. I'm sorry. Here. Jane goes from a smoke tower after Kirsty says the thing about Baelish. From a smoking tower, a great stone beast took wing, breathing shadow fire. Now there are things that in this world that do shadow magic and are and definitely believe in the Lord, the God of fire. So is there something that may happen where it, I don't know, Melisandre or a Red Priestess is involved with Baelish, because Baelish is kind of connected to Bravos. That's where his family comes from. I think someone said it down below. That's his sigil.
Well, it could also be, a lot of those visions are pure symbolism,
right?
Like those rats eating that lady,
right?
But it could be Stannis, because there's a lot of smoke on Dragonstone.
Yep.
And him taking to wing could just mean he leaves.
Yeah.
And then the breathing of fire is like, it's not a real dragon.
Right. Just like his sword.
It's associated with the shadow babies a bit.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
Controlled by shadow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea though, but it could be something like that too. But that little bit that Jane put up there, that's I was pondering that for quite a while when I saw
this one.
No, the one.
Oh, the other one, yeah, that one's interesting. Because I've thought also Tyrion, getting grayscale from falling in the water. Most likely he won't. It was Jon Con saving him, giving him grayscale. But it could also be talking about Jon Con and Aegon, kind of, because he's breathing shadow fire, because he's not really a Targaryen, with this guy going nuts, because of his grayscale.
Another thing that happens right after Ragnarok, when it's done,
Mm-hmm.
the survivors gather around the table and start talking about how the new world is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
How we're going to, restart this new world from scratch.
That story.
That's how it ends in the show.
Yeah, it does.
And George Martin said the ending wasn't too far off.
Right.
So even that fits.
Right.
Oh no, the ending is going to be like The Sopranos, that you're all sitting around
just goes to
the
black.
table.
Just goes to
Yeah.
black. You all of a sudden hear like a door rattle bell, and then all of a sudden it goes to
Yeah,
black with
yeah.
like,
Bran looks up and then it cuts to black.
yeah, with like a crooked smile.
Oh, you know what would be cool? If it just zooms out and it turns out everything actually is inside the eye of a giant named.
Oh, that'd be
Umber.
awesome.
That would be
That
cool.
would be awesome.
So yeah, Rob Stark was correct.
Yep. Yep. Kirsty and Jane are onto something here. They're talking about Kirsty talks about the swords, Valerian steel swords, maybe having like a soul, a spirit, a mind of its own. And then Jane goes on to say, well, we believe they're using blood magic sacrifice with the use of dragon fire to bind themselves with dragons, but also using dragon fire to make these swords with blood magic, and maybe the soul of the person, something, a power goes into this, giving
Well,
it like almost a sentient ability.
Yeah, that's what happens with Nissa. Nissa
Right.
stabs the sword into her chest and
Right.
takes
Tempers
maybe the
it.
soul. And you know, when Beric dies,
Yes.
Thoros said he passed his fire
Mm-hmm.
to
Catelyn.
yeah. So I'm
Stoneheart.
thinking maybe that's kind of a
The
soul
flame of your
thing?
soul. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or somebody's soul. It may not be theirs, you know?
Yeah,
Because
and
even
then
Beric. Go ahead, please.
Melisandre mentioned that bit with Stannis wanted to make another shadow baby, and she says your fire burns low.
Yeah.
So she has used some of his soul fuel.
Yeah. Yep.
In a way.
And
Maybe.
she could see it too, which is crazy. Yeah, I find that very interesting. You know, the whole thing about there is a soul and there are souls in this world. And are the others threatened by the warmth of human soul? And they're
I don't
searching, you know, are they searching for a
Well,
certain soul?
They do sense heat
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because that is established that they hunt by heat.
Mm-hmm.
So that they and try to kill heat.
Yep. They try to extinguish it.
So maybe it could be that they're also trying to kill the souls. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Westeros is not only a post-apocalyptic, it's post-war in heaven. It could be a lot of things.
Remember I had that theory where it looks a lot like the Targaryen storyline in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Is the biblical apocalypse.
Yeah.
While everything on Westeros and in the north is the Norse stuff. So
Yeah.
he's combined the two more popular ones because King's blood could be symbolic of the blood of David, which
Mm-hmm.
Jesus had,
Mm-hmm.
which would be Rhaegar,
Right.
because he had all the Jesus traits, and then he gets killed.
Right. And is
And
it
he's
the blood of
supposed
Aegon? Aegon is David? Aegon the First, the Conqueror?
Probably.
Yeah.
And but before the second coming of Jesus, we're going to have the Antichrist, the false prophet. And you have that bit in Revelations about the three heads of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of them fits perfectly as Melisandre because it's called the Scarlet Beast,
Right.
who wears no crown, right, and all that stuff. And the other one was the beast of the earth, which is
Mm-hmm.
dresses in lamb's wool and is very pleasant, and is going to mark people's foreheads and wrists.
Mm-hmm.
That's the High Sparrow.
Right.
He only wears lamb clothes, and he
Right.
marks people with the the fate of the whatever it is,
Yeah.
the militant, their foreheads and wrists.
Yep.
Right. So there's going to be if this is correct, which it might not be, but then you have Jon Snow,
Mm-hmm.
who is actually associated in a way with 666.
Right.
And Lightbringer means Lucifer,
Yes.
fallen angel, right? So
Mhm.
I think someone else is going to inhabit Jon Snow first.
And the reason you say the 666 for people that don't watch is that
It's
he is
according to the archives at the
Mhm.
wall, Jon Snow is Knight Commander number 998,
Right.
and that they say that in the book, but one of them had been removed.
Right. The
They also
13th.
say that in the book. So
Mhm.
John would be 999, which is 666 inverted.
Yep.
And
Well, that's what they say. Like in the Book of Revelations, when you see things in your dreams, it's upside down and back to front.
Yes.
yeah,
Damn. Yeah. You're right.
yeah. So it's I'm thinking of, and in book 5 we're told by Varmir Sixskins that no, this is in book 3, before the, when John goes to speak to Mance Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Varmir Sixskin says that any animal that has been used for warging can be used again by other wargs, right? That basically the door is open for them to use them. And several times Jon Snow can't sense ghost, right? He can't warg
Oh,
in,
Right.
and he doesn't sense where he is. That's because he ghost is occupied. Someone's using him.
Oh.
Yeah,
and
because it happens
who would that
right
be?
after.
I mean,
Who?
Yeah. Who could be strong enough? Because I thought.
Oh, you don't have to be that strong. As long as an animal has been used for warging before,
Mhm.
can be used again. Varmir Sixskin says this.
So
And
what?
then
You're
a few
assuming it's
chapters.
Bran?
Yeah, it's basically the door's open. The lock isn't there anymore. But in the following chapters, of the following John chapters, he doesn't sense ghost. He doesn't know where he is, and he's kind of hoping he's still alive and all that.
Right.
And Varmir Sixskin said that earlier, and then John experiences this.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone's in him. Someone's in ghost. So if that person who is in ghost, what if that one slips into John when he gets raised?
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
Because ghost is there seeing it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
That's interesting. What other warg has that even been mentioned? I mean,
Well, I think it's
Benjen.
someone we don't know. I think it's maybe the Great Other.
Right. The three-eyed crow, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Um,
Benjen Stark. We never knew, but he is a Stark.
it's definitely not someone good.
Right. Right.
But and we know that Ghost has traveled beyond the wall, back and forth and stuff. John doesn't know where the heck he's been
Right.
until he suddenly returns.
And we all think it's because the
Been
wall you
slutting it
can't.
up north.
Well, a lot of people think it's because the wall blocks his ability, but
No, it
Well,
doesn't, because he does sense him on the other side of the wall a couple
Yeah.
of times.
what were you going to say, Grant?
I was gonna say, doesn't he stick his nose through part of the gate to be able to sense John when John's on the other side?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. But going back to if Rhaegar is like the Jesus representation, and the show had some bullet points from George, could Danny be the Antichrist? The person that's charismatic and people follow,
Well,
but then is actually
you know what?
the bad
I
guy.
actually
Or Aegon.
I did a deep dive into that one a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There is a character named Azor in the Bible, and it is one of Jesus's ancestors. So the bloodline would be there from David.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very minor character, but Ahai is a name for mother. So John and Danny, fire
Yeah.
and ice,
Yep.
right? And
Yep. The mother.
so Azor Ahai could simply just mean that the two of them together.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because I know his I don't know about a character name as well, but I know there is a place Hazor, like Hazor, in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe it's a derivative.
Yeah, I mean, George definitely pulls from a lot of different things and takes it upon himself to twist it a little bit. Um, let's see. But the Erie looks like a tower. If it is smoking, it could be because Baelish did something to attack it or it's attacked. Yeah, Baelish could
The
bring
smoke could
down
also
the
be mist
Erie
because
and
it's high altitude up there as well. So it
right,
could just be misty clouds
right.
and
It could
appear
be
like
that.
smoke.
Yep, yep. And then Baelish could bring down the Erie and launch a shadow war on Westeros. No, that's an interesting one, Jane. I like that. Let's see. Euron is a lot like an antichrist, right? He's very charismatic. People follow him. No, like he
Yeah.
always shows his smiling eye and not his real eye.
Which all it's like a glove with the
Right.
third beast, which is the beast of the sea,
Right.
who's going to blaspheme against everything, and people are going to cheer him on for it,
Mm-hmm.
which is exactly what Euron does.
Yeah. Jane says this like with an LOL, but we've talked about that too. It's like a lost setting. Everybody's dead, you know, and certain people get to move on to a different place when they die within this.
Yeah, all of you guys need to read The Wheel of Time. It has a lot of similarities with this.
Kolnitsky, what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the first season of the show. I think I get the gist of the books.
The show.
No, you don't.
The books are supposed to be amazing. I haven't read them, but
They're
BK Bojan
fantastic.
has read them all, and he says that he's so funny. After waiting so long for the last of those books to happen, he's like he was almost to be like Martin territory, where he's like, I'm not reading a series till they're all written, everything's done and put to bed.
Felicia, how are you? How's everybody out there? Thank you for joining us, guys. Please like and share this out. And when we're done, please come back if you're on YouTube or on Rumble or wherever my Odyssey page is.
That's a good point, because it did peck his forehead. It didn't leave a mark though, but it was maybe like a
well, it
spirit
did leave a
mark.
mark in a way. I mean, on that was in his dream to open up the third eye. So in a way, it left the third eye as the mark.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
What's the symbolism of corn?
I have no idea.
It's the one thing I haven't been able to find anything of. Or the only thing I can see is that corn is in some cultures is used as a symbol of life, but I don't think that really fits.
Actually, it kind of does, because ravens are carrion feeders, so they eat life. But then again, you could say that about humans too.
Well, I mean, technically, everybody eats something that was alive once.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But it's weird that they keep saying corn, and it's not just one raven; it's been several.
I mean, unless corn is the name of a person or an entity.
Corn half hand.
I mean, or they're fans of 40K. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of those little prophecies, though, have kind of come true already. Like, when what's her name, the little midget lady, talks about basically foreshadows Lady Stoneheart, that it's going to be terrifying when she opens her eyes and all that. That happened. So it doesn't look like there's too much time being spent from the prophecy until it actually happens, especially with the new ones that are happening in the books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the ancient ones.
I was I heard the part, like you asked the corn thing before I walked away, and I've been wondering that too. Like I'm wondering, does that have something with a Native American representation, like something with one of their mythologies? Because I feel like George, in a way, even though it resembles like Europe, but I feel like he's trying to make a mythology more for us. in North America, with different aspects from Vikings and others. But the idea that the bird keeps saying corn over and over again, and you're to believe he just wants to get fed, but he also says something very important within throwing in the corns. Snow, 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 king, 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 corn, corn. Like I wonder if corn does mean something. And he's Kolnitsky says Borok could warg into John. I have no clue who Borok is. Why don't I know that name? I have to look that up now. And then Kirsty says Azor Ahai in etymology I got as being blue or blue sky mother. But blue could be John too. I mean, the stark colors are gray and blue. That's interesting. Jane says Azor, also known as Zorha, does sound the same. And then
Azaria?
What did you say? Azaria?
Azaria.
Yeah, gotcha. And then Felicia says, no, go ahead.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I would say Baroque, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is one of the free folk that hangs out with Mance Rayder.
Oh, I didn't know.
He's the one who has the boar.
Oh, right, and the bird. The bird also.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about him. Yeah, that's a good call. And he hates John. He definitely hates John. And
didn't he walk into a bird and then the bird get killed?
No, he got killed. I thought he got killed.
Here's a theory, though. What if Bran wargs into John?
Oof. Oh, God.
I guess that's one way of him being able to fly.
Right.
Going into a body of a Targaryen.
And he doesn't realize that John could re-enter the body, so he basically just takes his place.
Having a strong legs and everything, yeah.
And Bran has practice on Hodor.
That is a good. That's man. I love doing these because half the time I just sit here thinking, instead of talking. Let's see, Borog. I just want to see where he ends.
Jane says she would hate for anyone to warg into John besides Ghost. I think she means it the other way around. Cool. But what if the wolf wargs into John and he just goes Wolfman?
Yeah, right. Somehow, like speaks broken, like ancient tongue for some reason.
Snarls.
Yeah. Borog was one of the meaning skin changers that Hagon took Fairman into his youth. I don't remember if he must be alive because he's talking about in Dance of Dragons. Borog eventually accompanies Sorin Shieldbreaker to Stone Door. Borog attends John's speech in the Shield Hall. All right, so I guess he didn't get killed. That's just the show. That's a good, I mean, that is one person that's close enough that can do it. And he can inhabit the boar. I thought there was a guy who can inhabit a bird too.
Oh, yeah, but he died.
Hold on one second.
Melisandre fried him.
That's okay.
Which is something they should have had in the show. Orel, the guy who wargs into an eagle. John kills him, right? And then he wargs into an eagle as he dies.
Yeah, but wasn't there already someone in there or something?
No, he just flies away. But then in the Varamir Sixskin chapter, the prologue, he describes he tries to force. He wargs into Orel's eagle by force, and Melisandre does something and sets him on fire, and Varamir feels it. He's burning up from the inside out.
We don't know that it was Melisandre that did that. That's just an assumption.
No, I think he saw her make the hand movement.
Yeah, no, I always thought that was something that's preventing them from being able to do that. If something's already been walking into that, I think that's the result of that.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. That's interesting. I don't know if I know there have been people that like Varamir, doesn't he's only able to take the one wolf after he kills the guy who had it. I didn't think you could share animals. Is it only if the animal accepts that you can like share it on and off?
Or if you're Welsh,
Hmm. Those Welsh. Gen X Gen X Jennifer. Thank you for being here. She says corn is interchangeable with the word horn, like the horn of plenty is called the cornucopia. That's interesting.
it was definitely Melisandre who did it, because John says man had left to guard his queen when, sorry, the skin changer man had left to guard his queen went mad when the eagle burned, and then John looks at Melisandre and says, "Some say that was your doing." And she smiles and says, "The Lord of Light has fiery talons, Jon Snow."
Mm.
So it was her.
Okay.
that doesn't confirm anything.
Well, she's implying it was her, probably maybe to take credit, but she does have more power at the wall, and she likes to show it.
Yeah, and he feels that he says there was definitely. This is from Farmer's Sixskins.
Mm-hmm.
It says there was definitely magic involved, and
Obviously,
Faramir
it's
felt.
walking. It is a form of magic.
Yeah, but he would identify the type of magic if it was that,
Mm-hmm.
given that he is one. And he thought some archer on the wall had pierced him with a flaming arrow, but the fire had been inside him. It started inside him,
Right.
and then he burned from the inside out.
Oh, dude, did anybody read this one? That's great. Kirsty Angel comes up in Chinese religion and mythology. There's two guards of the underworld, Horseface and Bullhead. In the books, there are two characters nicknamed exactly the same, Arya and Gendry. I have never heard that one. That is awesome. I don't know what the underworld would be other than Bran's Cave, but there is a
Flea
lot of
bottom.
underworlds. I mean, you got, the crypt. They could be protecting the crypt at some point.
Oh yeah.
God, there's a lot of things they could be. There's a lot of shit that's underground. I mean, even King's Landing, the tunnels under King's Landing and stuff. That's interesting one.
Varys said that I think he said it to, was it to Tyrion? If people
Mhm.
had known what was beneath the
Yes.
Red Keep,
Yes.
they would shit themselves.
No, we said that to Ilios.
Oh yeah, when they're coming out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that yeah? And no matter who he said it to, that leaves a lot to wonder. I mean,
Yeah.
Maegor did kill anybody who had anything involved in the building of that.
Good lad. He should have.
Yeah, he was smart.
what if
He
it's
did nothing wrong.
what if it's one of the surviving dragons that we didn't see get killed in Blood and Fire?
Right.
One that supposedly flew off or something, and maybe it's down there sleeping.
Well, yeah, it really depends on.
Or it could be the wildfire.
Well, that too. I mean, that's what I always thought he was implying once we learned that there was caches hidden throughout the city. But who's not to say there's something like even dragon eggs or something deep. I mean, that place does go pretty damn deep.
Or mermaids.
Oh yeah.
Which dragons did we not see die in Fire?
Sheep
Cannibal?
stealer.
Cannibal too, right? Sheep stealer, and cannibal, I think, are the two wilder ones that we don't know much about.
The
Afterwards.
cannibal though would be freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the cannibal would be huge now because it was huge then.
Yeah.
It would be enormous.
And also,
Mekai, yeah,
it's
go
on.
ahead, I'm sorry.
The cannibal's on Dragonstone.
Yeah, but who's not to? Yeah, that's true. But we hear that, but we never see him again, right? They don't. He would be on Dragonstone when someone like Stannis was there. No one ever reports even another Targaryen when the Targaryens were
Yeah,
there
but George
after the
made
fact.
a point of it, saying that
Oh, no,
they
I
don't
know.
go traveling. So
Well, not far. You're right. Not like the Erie. Mekai Stover, thank you for being here. We have a great chat tonight. You guys are on fire. Could Danny and John represent the two humans who survive Ragnarok, or Adam and Eve, to repopulate the Earth?
I
Or
think they
Noah and his-
represent the fire
like
and
good
ice
family members.
that will destroy it. They're unwittingly villains because the two people who survive are children, and they survive
Right.
by hiding inside a tree.
And what's
And
the name
one
of
of them, Leaf,
I love that. I'm sorry. I
that
love
happens to be one of the names of one of the children of the forest.
And what's the other name? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't think it was. I think it was Embla.
Leaf and Leaf's friend.
Yeah, but several others do survive. So it's kind of weird with the mythology because it said only two children survived. But then,
Mhm.
other survivors, started making up how the world should be afterwards. Like, you just said it was just two.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Gen X Jennifer again says the Corn King is a dying and resurrected king linked to the land. When the king dies, so does the agriculture. Ooh, someone look up the Corn King. I haven't heard Jen. That is a good one. I've never. Oh shoot, sorry about that. I've never
Well-
heard that one.
I mean, it would be interesting about what you're saying about the John and that being basically like the harbingers of Ragnarok. I mean, both of them were alive. Both of them died and came back.
Mhm.
Something different, One of fire, one of ice. I mean, it does fit.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Ragnarok is all about fire and ice destroying the world. It's
Right.
together. So it is harmony between the two, which a song is also harmony.
yeah.
Uh,
That's interesting.
but-
Yeah, song is harmony, like the way he means it, correct? The way
Yeah.
a song of is usually harmony between two things that are in the title after
yeah,
that.
they're not opposed.
No, they're like a yin and they could be a yin and a yang opposites,
Yeah.
but they still connect, which would be fire and ice.
Mix fire and ice together. What do you get? You get steam.
You
Yeah.
get smoke and water. What? You need some wood too. Jane says, I think the R'hllor priestess are fire nymphs. Yep. Their role is to capture human souls who have reached the end of their earthly existence and bring them before the courts of hell. Oh, you're talking
Which
about
is
Horseface and Bullhead. Okay.
Which is interesting that Hel, the Norse goddess, seems to be represented by Melisandre.
Mm,
What Hela?
yeah.
Yeah, Hel or Hela. It depends on that. I think she's just
Hel.
called Hel in Norway
And she could break
or in
million-
Scandinavia, and
million-
Hela, I think, in
careful.
English. Hey, that's where it landed.
Yeah. And I can lift it.
Yeah. I was
See,
cleaning
Mom
it
and
the other
Dad,
day.
I was worthy.
It just flew off.
Thanks for sending it. That goes
Yeah,
to
well,
Sean,
you
who
can have
sent
it.
this to me.
I have two more.
And you know what? If I can't lift the big hammer, I lift the little hammer. Da-da-da! God, this
That
Sean,
is
one
so
of my
freaking
yeah,
cool.
Sean sent this, and it's freaking awesome.
You know what they should make? A hammer like that, but it's a cell phone on top of it.
Oh my God,
You have to hold the hammer close to your cheek while talking to people.
everybody, what's going on?
Yeah.
And you can defend yourself with it.
Yeah.
Make it like 15 pounds. You know, just
Also, like a 5110 then.
Oh, that's awesome. Jane says, just realize Arya and Gendry's kids would also be a product of Ice and Fire because the Baratheons are Targ bastards.
Yes.
That is very true. And he is
Yeah.
his
King's
great grandmother.
King's blood is Valyrian blood
Yes.
because Viserys, Daenerys' brother, says it early on.
Yep.
And
he's
that's the way for the author to establish it.
Yep.
And the Baratheons do have Targaryen blood. And
Yes.
Targaryens have blood from Old Valyria.
And we know Gendry is then definitely has Targaryen in his blood because she uses him with the leeches.
Yeah, because it's well, that's in the show. She doesn't do
Oh,
that
that's
in the
not
books.
a goddamn show. Throws me
But she
off.
does it to Edric Storm.
Edric Storm. That's it.
So
I'm
it
sorry.
still applies, but
That's a
but
different person, though.
yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
same bloodline. It's a Robert bastard.
It's a Robert bastard. I feel.
But
That's awesome.
it's definitely not. It's definitely not the blood of someone who just declares himself king.
Right.
Because then Melisandre could just go up to a person and say, "Hey, declare yourself as a king, because I need king's blood," and you'd have an unlimited supply, right?
You
Right.
could argue that Gendry has an affinity for fire as a what you call it, Smith
Smith.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Makes
you
me
guys are
wonder
right.
if he can reforge a Valyrian steel at some point.
Yeah.
Because
his
he-
master.
Reforge.
His
Yeah,
master
I reckon he could.
forge it. Yeah.
He could reforge it, but not create it.
Well,
That was
and
the
Gendry was better than the guy I worked for.
yes.
That's true.
So he would be able to reforge ice back together.
Yes.
I always assumed he might do. Bring
And he happens
ice back
to be
together.
close to part of it. Actually,
Mhm.
both pieces, because Brienne
Mhm.
and Jamie are heading straight for Stoneheart.
Right.
And Gendry's right in that area too.
Right. That would be cool, man. There's so many interesting things that
And then
that you can get from it.
Jamie stabs Brienne in the chest and takes her fire into the sword to complete the Lightbringer.
You think Jamie would?
Yeah, or he does it to Stoneheart.
Nice. That's awesome.
Because
I can see him do it to Stoneheart.
because it is specified that she has a fire in her, right? But it would be it would fit with the smoke and salt, because after Jamie is in the steam room, there's salt and smoke there. He kind of comes clean and becomes a new person
Right.
after that. So I don't know.
No, that's
Do you-
interesting, man.
Do you take into any creed the idea that Blackfire is in the company of the Gold Company? Like, did they have Blackfire, the sword?
Wouldn't we have seen it already?
I don't know.
That's
I
think
that's
it's, for me, it's
interesting.
the only place I think it makes sense that it could be from basically everything. Because I think that sword's definitely going to come back into play.
Mhm.
Yes, because it
Yeah.
keeps getting mentioned.
Yeah.
Maybe Howland Reed has it.
Right. Oh, be awesome.
Or no, sorry, it wasn't Blackfire, the one that Daemon Targaryen used.
Dark Sister.
That one kind of fell in an interesting area, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right in the God's eye.
But the last time we saw Blackfire was with the Blackfire Rebellion and everything, and I know the Golden Company was involved in stuff with that. So it wouldn't
Maybe they-
surprise me with them being Targaryen loyalists if they
May-
held it as a deposit or as a safe keep.
Do you think it might be given to Aegon?
I'm thinking it might. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it might be given to Aegon,
It seems to be the only
like young
candidate.
Griff Aegon, not John. I mean, depending
Yeah,
on
real Aegon.
real Aegon, yeah, young Griff,
Yeah, because he seems to be the only candidate.
yeah.
The other one would be Daenerys, but they don't give. I don't know.
I don't see him giving this. Like, put it this way: if it turned out that John was Aegon, I could see him giving it to John.
Yeah, but then John has a sword.
Yeah, I know John has a sword, but I'm just saying, it would be like him trying to make a decision between his past and his present. Is he a Snow? Is he a Targaryen? You know, I could see George doing that, and depending on what sword that he's holding, and then somehow gets Gendry to forge him into one mighty great sword, into one forging fire and ice together, and that's the sword that gets plunged into his chest, and then when he pulls it out, it catches on fire.
You know what though? Jon could still have Valyrian blood in him if he's not a Targaryen, because of House Dane. If Ashara Dane is his mom,
Right.
and House Dane is from what is it? That a really old Valyrian house?
That's the one I don't remember. I thought they were first men.
No, it was specified that they were from the Empire of
Wait.
Dawn. It's the only remnants from the old Empire of Dawn, which was near Valyria.
Well, they may have also been the people that taught the Valyrians how to tame dragons.
Yeah, so Jon would qualify as having Valyrian blood through Dane if it's Ned and Ashara Dane,
Mm-hmm.
which you can make a very good case for that, because the timeline of Ned's travels actually adds up with it.
That would be awesome.
And he gets pissed when, and this is in the first Catelyn chapter. Catelyn mentions Ashara Dane,
Mm-hmm.
and Ned gets pissed and wants to know where she heard that name.
Right. And she's they never talk about it again.
Yeah,
Which
so
is even better.
One way to establish something very early.
Yep. And then
I don't know,
really
though.
bring it up. I mean, think about this. I know the first book, he had a different idea of what might be going on, but the only house that we don't meet in the first book that they reference to a ton is the Danes.
Yeah, and they are being kept pretty far away from everyone
Mm-hmm.
in the story. It's them and the Howland Reed.
Right. So I find that to be very interesting.
But holy crap, would it fit with the Mance Raider being Arthur Dane, though?
Right. That would be awesome.
But we don't know. But
we don't. Yeah.
It could very well be, Lyanna and Rhaegar. But that one seems
too obvious.
Yeah, too obvious for George Martin, right?
Yeah. I go back to Order of the Green Hand YouTube channel, which is amazing. I don't know if anybody watches them, but I always pump them up. Hopefully they're back recording. They have some of the best, R plus L equals J is not right. A plus N equals J.
Cool. I think it was them that convinced me, because they showed the whole damn timeline.
Yeah.
How you could make a case for it, and it just fit too well. And I was looking at it when I was reading the books again and paying attention to that. And there was something with what's his name, Manderley.
Yep.
Mentioned something when Davos was there.
Yeah. Well, when Ned had to make it back to Winterfell to raise his banners from the Eyrie, he is traveling with just some woman. And most people say, oh, it must have been a fisherman's daughter or something like that. But it could have been a Dane. You never know.
Yeah, because that makes more sense than just, it's just some fisher lady I found.
Absolutely, man. I think that is definitely who it could be. Sorry, I've been trying to...
And who was it? It was Tywin Lannister, when he found out that Robb Stark had made someone pregnant and married her. And he made a little comment about, he's his father's son.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. Tywin knew.
Tywin definitely knew something. And Barristan talks about maybe one of the Starks sullying her honor that night at the tourney at Harrenhal. I don't know. He was forced into the Catelyn marriage. And if you look at timelines of Jon's birth, like you said, it matches up to her then all of a sudden jumping off killing herself after he brings just with a newborn baby. I mean, like days old, travels instead of traveling north, travels south to drop off a sword that he could have just had one of his bannermen, deliver when he gets back. But no, he does that. and then she ends up committing suicide, but yet they name one of the children who is now the heir of House Dane after him. It's just, and their stories, are all
Yeah, it
positive.
doesn't make sense.
They're all positive, right?
They're not gonna name him after the guy who killed Arthur.
Right.
That's just weird. But what I think might have happened is Ned and Ashara were in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ned was forced to marry Catelyn for political reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and then he learned, shit, Ashara's pregnant.
Right. Right.
What does the honorable man do?
Right. He does the right thing. He takes the babe.
Yeah, takes the babe and doesn't want to talk about it.
Right.
So, did he cheat on his missus then, or not? Then
No, he was in a relationship with Ashara before he was forced to marry Catelyn, and then he finds out Ashara's pregnant.
Mm. Allegedly.
Maybe, but
Maybe.
I'm thinking that fits.
Right. I do also like that. He only gets like a day or two with his new bride Catelyn, but yet he gets her pregnant. So the man is definitely fertile. So if he spent more than that with Ashara, more likely than not, she definitely got pregnant.
And I think
Yeah.
Scott is an expert in this area.
I am.
just
I
want
have
to
super
say.
sperm. That's why I had to, get rid of it.
Yeah,
Um,
John, one half of John is definitely Stark because of the
Mhm.
war game.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah.
the other one is a little bit up for grabs, but it has to involve Valyrian blood.
Mhm.
So that leaves Targaryen or Dane. And
Right.
George is being very sly with giving information about the Danes.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking that's pretty damn deliberate because he's
Right.
not shy about it with the Targaryens.
Right.
He's almost being too blatant about
Yep.
Targaryen stuff.
And the whole
I mean,
Tower of Joy thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he even wrote a whole book about the Targaryens.
Right. The whole Tower of Joy, like him taking down the tower by hand. Like, what?
Yeah, him and
And then
Howland
not
Reed.
right, and not bringing back the bodies or the bones of his allies, but bringing a sword for the Danes. It just makes no sense.
Yeah,
I mean, those are his bannermen that died because he brought them with him.
yeah. So he spent time tearing down the tower instead of burying them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would have taken years. Well, depending on the size of the tower, but probably at least 3 floors
Right.
high. And then why the hell do it?
Right. He was in a mad
what does that
rage.
tower ever do to you?
Right?
Yeah,
It just Your sister had a lot of fun in it for like a year till the end. Allegedly.
so, someone said that the Tower of Joy wasn't near Dorne. That it was actually the same tower that Bran was tossed out of, and that
They were just hidden up there that whole time.
Yeah, and that's why Ned
Huh.
got pissed at Benjen and made
Because he
him take
let
the
him
black.
do it.
Yeah, and made him take the
Because the
black.
whole
So-
war started over this little tryst, and they were in Winterfell the whole freaking time.
and
Right.
it fits with that rose thing. Because didn't they have a little bit of a greenhouse at Winterfell?
Yes,
near that,
they have a very nice big greenhouse.
So you have that
The
rose.
Until
Rose.
Ramsay got in there.
Yeah. So you have that rose thing with Rhaegar and Lyanna.
Right.
Because it was a
Gee,
North rose thing, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, I just read that. I might jump if I got dumped for a Tully. That's messed up. Love
I
it.
snorted at that one.
Yeah. I was wondering what you were laughing at. How about this one here from Mekai Stover? If Melisandre represents hell from Norse mythology, it would confirm Jon's death as the sign of the end. Jon represents Baldur's death starting Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok has already started.
Was
Ragnarok
it?
starts with a period of strife where brothers kill brothers.
Mm-hmm,
There's patricide and
mm-hmm.
kings, being at war. That is book one. It's already started.
Yeah.
So we're in the winter part is starting to kick in too, the long winter.
Right.
And there's also going to be unnatural storms and hurricanes and stuff like that. And Stannis is in the middle of one,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So we're already in
Right.
uh, the second or third phase of Ragnarok.
And then
So
yeah.
I guess
So who would be Baldur's death? Was that?
it could be Rhaegar. It could be
I was thinking it was the death of Rickard Stark,
well,
or
Balder
Brandon.
gets killed by a root. Actually, he gets killed by a plant used as an arrow. But the only one who qualifies there would be Joffrey. He's
Mm-hmm.
poisoned by a root, isn't he?
Yeah, it is. It's some form of a root. Um. Okay, that's
But
interesting.
he seems to be the characters he's basing on gods
Mm-hmm.
are not the nicest of people.
Right.
And he keeps saying all through the story that the gods are cruel. And the ones that do cruelty are the ones based on the gods.
Mm. Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, Arya is not based on any of the gods. She's based on one of the wolves.
Right.
But Sansa is based on Eden, which is
Mm-hmm.
a virgin that everyone wants to marry, who later gets taken away to an eagle's nest. Sound
Oh
like the
shit.
Eyrie?
Yeah.
And during Ragnarok, she's supposed to feed the gods apples
Mm-hmm.
to give them strength.
Mm-hmm.
And they have said that the Eyrie has had an extra bountiful apple harvest.
Mm.
And here's the kicker: Sansa is the name of a type of apple.
Is it really? I didn't
I
know
shit you not. Just Google
It's
it.
a
It says,
really whiny type of
that.
apple.
Really tart.
Oh,
yeah,
And Jane is right. Dane's Valerian features could be Proto Valerian from a much older empire like Yeti or
yeah,
Empire of the Dawn, like you said. And then
yeah.
she goes same for the High Towers. They are an ancient house, 10,000 years at least in Westeros at Old Town. They were kings. So, that's where I wonder, is it just Targaryen blood or is
It's Valyrian.
it's just Valerian? So,
Viserys says it's the blood of old Valyria.
mm-hmm. Hmm.
So the Danes, if this is true, and it probably is, the Danes qualify big
Right,
time.
right,
And the Targaryens are being kind of a little bit of a red herring in a way.
right. That's interesting. Kirsty comes. I love this. We had plans for different theories, but I love just responding to what our amazing chat is doing right now. Kirsty Angel says Nymeria, and before I go to Kirsty, I just want to give Ara Oren a shout. Don't hate on my girl Sansa. I like that. That was funny. Kirsty though Angel says Nymeria equals corpse queen. The witch queen didn't bear arms in battle. She commanded her armies, leading them on the battlefield, necromancy, and she's tied to the wall, sending 6 kings there, king's blood. So are you talking about Nymeria the wolf, like an Arya, or are you talking about Nymeria of the
No, the old
10,000 ships?
that traveled a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, those 6 kings would have to have Valyrian blood
Mm-hmm.
count.
Well,
But
think about it. All the kings
fuel
except
the wall, though.
right, but if you think of the kings that were in the Battle of the 5 Kings, except for the Greyjoy, right? The rest of them have Targaryen blood.
No,
Oh
Robb
no,
didn't.
I'm sorry, Robb doesn't.
And the Greyjoy doesn't.
The other,
But Joffrey did.
Yep. Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
maybe
No.
if his
Maybe.
parents are the Mad King's kids.
Yeah.
Which answer why they wanted to bang each other.
That was kind of stupid on the TV
Ooh.
show. There was like, yeah, it's the War of the Five Kings, and Balon hadn't even done anything.
Right.
So it was actually the four kings.
Yeah.
They can't even count.
Oh, let's see what else we have.
And then they go, yeah, the War of Five Kings has ended, and then they kill off Balon.
Yeah, back to the Tower of Joy. And Liam, what's up? Jane says I agree with this 100%. It never made sense to me either that anyone would fight Ned for wanting to just see his sister is okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it just never made sense.
Well, it could be they were pissy about his friend Robert having killed Rhaegar.
Yeah, but still.
But Ned wouldn't harm his sister. But here's the thing. If she gave birth to Rhaegar's son, and they knew that Robert had done what he did to Rhaegar's other kids, that could have been like, no, you're not entering. You're Robert's friend, right?
Yeah, because Ned could have been under orders by his king to,
who he grew up with more than he probably grew up with his sister in the Eyrie he grew up with. But
then again,
yes,
just have him disarm and walk in.
Yeah,
right.
Like Ned, I mean, it goes right to fighting. I expected to see you across the battlefield. If you did, the outcome would have been different. And then it's like, boom, they say like two more lines and they're in a battle. Now that is from a fever dream. So we're not always supposed to take fever dreams at the word value, whatever you want to call it.
Value.
Thank you. I couldn't think of
here's a thought though. If it is Ashara and Ned who had John, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arthur might be pissed about that he got his sister with a child and then married another woman.
Yeah, but he was kind of the pride of the Danes. For him to be slain and then his killer bring a sword who may have also impregnated their daughter without being married. Maybe not married.
You know what?
Well, how does that make any sense?
You know what? Arthur Dane gets hailed as the best sword fighter there is and all that.
Right.
Why doesn't anyone mention that? Oh yeah, Ned Stark, that's the guy who killed Arthur Dane.
Right.
Nobody
no one ever
says
that. Oh my God, you're right. No one
but
ever says that. Even with him not liking it, when he got to King's Landing, people would have been like, "Oh, Sir Stark, Lord Stark, the killer of the Sword of the Morning, shit like that."
He would be remembered for that,
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Nobody says a damn thing about it.
I don't think Ned is even in the top 10 best fighters in Westeros history. After Barristan and Robert.
In a straight up duel, Jamie would have killed him because that's all Jamie's good at.
Right.
It's combat.
Like
in a battle with armies, Ned would have won.
Is it common knowledge that he killed Arthur Dane though?
No, it is. Nobody mentions it. It's just the.
I mean, he did tell his. Didn't he tell his son the story once?
No, he said he was the best fighter he had ever seen.
He ever faced.
Yeah,
I think
doesn't say he fought him, faced him face to face.
Well, no, I thought by saying the word face, he means in battle. Yeah. That's how I
He didn't say he killed him. He just said
Howland
Reed rescued him.
Yeah, Howland Reed rescues him.
That could just have been, Howland Reed said, "Oh yeah, spare him."
Yeah, I'm going to jump back up to chat a little bit. Kirsty Angel, the Danes play into star constellation Sirius myth, the Great Dog, Great Dane, and I think Shaggy Dog links to Scooby-Doo, who's a Great Dane, so ties to mysteries of the Danes somehow. Well, everyone goes to the...
Excellent theory.
Yeah. like, because everyone goes to Shaggy Dog as a story that leads to nothing. Like, like it seems to be important, but why isn't Shaggy Dog just the red herring, the name?
I
'Cause
have found some stuff about the wolves
Mhm.
a while back that I did put in the group chat.
Nope.
Someone, because the wolves are important.
How long ago was that?
Oh, ages
That was a
ago.
long, yeah.
I'll
'Cause
see if I can. I see if I can paste it in the private chat.
yeah, please do. Or even if you could repost it in the DM.
Yeah.
Because I always look for your underlines and highlighted stuff that you do. Let's see, what else do we got? This is a lot of fun, guys, tonight. Gen X Jennifer, I saw this one too. The channel Septa Shanna's Secrets claims that Raela Targ had an affair with Stefan Baratheon. Oh, I've heard that one too. Rayla told Ares the baby was a stillborn because she had black hair. She was raised as a Sharadane. What connection does Stefan have to the Danes, though? I mean, a lot of people have relationships.
I just pasted it in the group chat.
All right, let me.
Wow.
Oh, I see why you did that way. Okay.
Yeah, it might be inaccurate, but there might be something in there that is accurate. You never know.
Can I paste that all as one thing in our chat? No, probably not. I'll put it in the private.
I can try and paste each
Yes,
wolf at a time in the chat while you read it if you'd like.
Okay. All right, that'll be perfect. We'll get to
This
that
is someone else's theory, though.
Yeah.
It's not mine, but I came across it and I was like, might be something to this.
Right. We go with Jane then next. We'll get back to the dogs. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I like the Ashardane one. I would have to look for things in the text that would give us something with the relationship between them. Like the Baratheons and stuff.
The thing about the books is kind of when you reread them 2 or 3 times, right? You're doing it for the story, and you start picking up hints, more and more.
Right.
But when you're on your 4th read through, you're just doing research, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're actively trying to catch things.
Every word,
which was what I just did this time, and I found a lot of stuff, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And it's giving me content, so thank you. Jane puts but let's think about this. If the Valerian's features are the result of blood magic, which have they ever put that together? I know they were like a sheep herding tribe before they learned to tame dragons. But it must have something to do, like, where did the silver and purple eyes and shit come from?
Oh, that's also the area where the faceless men came about.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
I mean,
area.
in the under the mountains doing the minings.
I think it was the children of the forest that taught that stuff, because they are very much associated with faces.
Right, and the faceless men seem to have a connection with that religion. Let's just say they, and I know they have different religions because every religion has a face to it that is death, because but they have the weirwood tree monument inside that people can worship at. One of the doors is weirwood. I mean, there has to be some connection there.
Yeah, and also the little island where the Faceless Men Temple is.
Yeah.
It's described very similar to the Isle of Faces.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that. That kind of blew me away a bit.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a real good one. But if it is result of blood magic, they could also have arisen independently in different places where this magic was being practiced, and they were taught the magic. So who's not to say that group who taught them how to tame the dragons, how to do this and that, didn't go to, like you said, other places and use that same magic.
Yeah, and I think one of the Arya noticed something, that that was described eerily similar to one of the weirwood tree faces, especially the one that had the sacrifice stuff in it that John and them came across. They had like a thing like that in the Facesman temple that reminded me of that. It was stuff inside the mouth.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, I love this shit. Kirsty jumps up to the. Oh, we already did that one, right? Oh no, the wall built to keep death out. 6 kings of Dorne are all death names, and first Martell ruler of Dorne Moors equals death, and the last current Doron stranger. Oh shit! Oh man, I didn't know Dorne meant stranger. I've heard of Moors equaling death, but I didn't realize he was also the name stranger. So 6 kings of Dorne are all death names. So all the kings of Dorne from Moors to Dorne, or just some of them, 6 of them have it? Because I would think there would be more than 6 in between, because there was that like frog woman and stuff. But the actual kings, you're saying, that's crazy. I don't think Rickon Stark is going to die. He is going to be the most fierce of the pack. I want to follow that one too. Granted, he's like 5, but that makes it even better. He's going to have wild men from Stagos. Yeah, and hill folk, the mountain folk. He's just going to be this like crazy.
Here's something I thought about, because Rickon is fucking feral. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
He's not all there. He's more wolf than kid at this point.
Yes, the wolf has more on him.
And he's on Skagos, right, with the wolf. What if he wargs into the wolf and feeds on a unicorn that's said to be there?
Unicorn blood. We
Yeah.
learned about that in freaking Harry Potter.
Yeah, and people in the books have said that they've seen unicorns on Skagos.
Yep.
So
Wasn't it?
They're also
Davos
cannibals.
Yeah. Yeah, they're said to be cannibals. Yeah, so a wolf.
And I think that's a mythology thing too. I think I've heard of unicorns being cannibals and more than just a Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, they look all pretty. Everybody, be careful.
They kill virgins. Yeah, or rather, non-virgins. They'll only approach virgins in most mythologies.
Oh, then Walton will be safe. All right, so this is Grey Wind. Grey Wind, he gets his name because of how fast he is, like the wind. Symbolically, Robb was equally fleeting, achieving a lot in a short time span only to lose it all.
That fits.
John's ghost. That's just all it said was ghost.
Oh no, are they out of order?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh no, there's one right before that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped that one. My bad. Ghost. John's names him this because he's white and mute, even though John heard him.
Yeah.
No one else heard him, but John heard him when he was left. We'll get back to that. His name takes significance from the possibility that Ghost will house John's consciousness, temporarily or not. After John's death, Ghost will house John's ghost. Yeah, I like that. Lady, she's a bitch. No, I'm sorry. Sansa gave her wolf predictable, feminine, safe name. When Lady is killed, it signals the death of Sansa's own lady-like outlook on life. It takes a long time for her to break. Sansa has had to increasingly shed her own ladiness to survive. Near Nymeria, Arya's names her wolf after the historical figure she admires, the Rhoynar Queen, Nymeria, who conquered Dorne hundreds of years ago. Symbolically, Nymeria's story mirrors Arya. She was driven from her home and wandered from place to place looking for safety until she finally found it. Nymeria, the wolf, is now leading her own pack, super pack they call it, in the Riverlands, the way historically Nymeria led the Rhoynar. That's cool. And we'll finish with Summer. Summer, Bran is a green seer, and as such is probably going to be pivotal in ending the conflict with the others, and thus ushering in a new era of peace and stability, i.e. Summer, as it used symbolically into the story. Summer is the last direwolf to get his name, which he receives only after Bran has come out of his coma, which seems to spark his latent abilities. So Bran, alone of the Stark kids, may actually be aware of his significance of his wolf's name.
Well, he gets all the credit, doesn't he? God.
Yeah, right. Oh,
also, Sweet Summer Child.
Sweet chum. Yeah. And Bran coming out of the coma could be like coming out of winter. Let's see. Shaggy Dog. Rickon is a toddler when he receives Shaggy Dog and gives him an appropriately childlike name. In literature, a Shaggy Dog story is one that meanders on and on, but ultimately goes nowhere, which I don't believe, leading some people to think that the name Shaggy Dog is a signal that Rickon's story is ultimately a dead end. Rickon's wolf has a dead end name, but Rickon himself will be important in the future. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, that defeats the purpose of the name then, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Nymeria did send 6 kings to the wall. I forgot when they took over. Thank you.
Also, if Rickon and Shaggy Dog are kind of pointless story-wise, it could be that they still get to do something awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Because
it might not go anywhere.
Rickon doesn't have his own chapters.
Right. And we're never going to get one, according to George.
Yeah.
Because he said all the POV characters that he'll be using, there will be no new ones. So it had to be someone who he already has done. So
do you reckon that we will get a John chapter? I agree with what Stig reckons before, that we'll hear about John and everything like that, but we won't get an actual John chapter.
I would love if we never get a John chapter.
Yeah, it would be. I think if we get one, it might be the prologue, or it's going to take quite a while.
But then that wouldn't be a John chapter; that would be prologue.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
And
yeah, the prologues are always.
I don't think it's going to be John who gets a prologue, because it usually uses side characters for that, and they quite often die.
Yes.
I'm thinking it might be someone in Stannis's army this time.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be really cool. But the only problem with that would be because usually the prologue and the post-log, whatever the one at the end. Epilogue. Thank you. I am not smart, people. Sorry. Freshman in college for 2.5 years. But no, what I was going to say is, wouldn't it be kind of weird if it was one of Stannis's guys, because that battle may take place pretty early and be ultimately finished?
He said it was going to be early.
Yeah. So usually it's somebody who like Varamir Sixskins, or that, the guy from Old Town, Pate. I forget. Pate. Like they all die, don't they? You got Royce, Pate, Varamir, and I don't remember off the top of my head the other two.
Oh, the Maester at Stannis's place.
Oh yeah, he dies. But he dies at the beginning, right? Is there a log at the end of that book?
No, wait a minute. He doesn't.
I thought he
has a chapter, but I think he dies in Davos. No,
he dies in his chapter.
Yeah, he does.
Because they drink the.
I don't remember who was in book 4.
Yeah, me either. Do I have book 4 sitting around here somewhere? Probably. I would have to search for it though. If anybody remembers, please add that to the chat, because this chat is awesome. I rather have small streams where we can discuss like this than make crazy money with these bigger YouTubers do.
Well, I think we can deduce where the POV chapter will be,
Ooh,
because I don't think it's going to be north of the wall,
okay.
because there's nobody alive up there unless it's some kind of
Someone in
deserter, right?
hiding. Well, could it be what's his name? The one with all the wives, his daughters.
Oh, Craster, he's dead.
Oh yeah, he's dead. What am I thinking?
Yeah, it would be cool if it's Cold Hands, but
Ooh.
I don't think it's going to be anyone north of the wall unless it's. Well, it
Benjamin.
would be all kinds of awesome if it's Jojin
Yeah, Jojin, like
getting killed by the children of the forest, but
yeah, and turned into paste.
usually it's not one of the side characters either.
No,
You know, it's like fourth down the
like someone
pyramid,
we
right?
never would have thought. Like, who the hell is Pate? Like that one was
Yeah.
like what?
So
yeah.
the battle at Winterfell might be something,
Mm-hmm.
and the Battle of Marine,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think we've had a starting, a prologue in that area.
No,
It's
and
all been on Westeros, but
right, we've had Old Town.
I have a sneaking suspicion though, it's going to be something Dorne.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That or Old Town for some reason.
Well, we've already had Old Town.
Oh yeah, Pete.
So yeah, I have a. I would put my money on Dorne.
Do you think Doran will amount to anything?
No idea. He seems to have some kind of plan, but
multiple plans.
Didn't that go to shit when a certain guy got burned?
Yeah, but is he alive or dead?
Well, George Martin said somewhere that he was whining about having regrets that he had killed off a character, and that gave him problems. And I'm wondering if that was him.
Yeah, but we never act. I mean, we do. They hide his body. They will not let anybody actually see him. He's all wrapped up, and we never actually, we don't see the confirmed death. It's like Benjen. We don't see a confirmed death.
What the hell can he do though? He has to be rather crispy.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
And it would. I mean, if you see what happened to the other Aegon, right, in Fire and Blood, he wasn't usable for much after he got burned.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It could be Loras Tyrell. That would be interesting if it's false news that he got killed.
I wonder about that too. I mean, that's just weird news coming out of like nowhere.
Yeah, and people were feeding Cersei false information.
Yes,
because we learned some of that when in the Jaime chapters. Because Cersei had been told this and that in her chapters, and Jaime found out otherwise.
Right. Okay, so we knew. Okay, Pate was in A Feast for Crows. I didn't realize that. And Varamir's in A Dance with Dragons.
Oh, Kevin Lannister, he has the last thing from the series ever. So
yeah, that's right. Varamir wasn't that one. Was he the?
Varamir was the prologue.
Prologue in that one.
And Kevin Lannister was the epilogue. Pate was book 4.
Okay.
So Sam might be in deep shit because there's a Faceless Man guy right there, and also one of the Sand Snakes.
Right, with her name backwards.
Yeah, and then you have
according to a couple of resources, A Feast for Crows did not have an epilogue.
Feast for Crows didn't? If it's Pate, he would be both.
Yeah, he had
a
prologue and epilogue.
Because the epilogue is not him, actually, it's the Faceless Man, isn't it?
No, it's someone else using Pate's face, and he Pate kills him.
No, Pate gets the poison coin.
Yeah, but at the end, Pate kills the guy because the faceless man is taken over his face.
Yeah. That's Mhm.
So it's
because he wanted that key to get into.
yeah. So it's kind of a two-parter.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Synopsis of A Storm of Swords. Epilogue is
You know what it says
Frey.
after the epilogue
Mm.
in book 4? George Martin saying, "Yeah, book 5 is going to be out next year." That didn't fucking happen. That was 4 years
No.
later.
Yeah.
5 years.
Merit. How his father ordered the massacre. King, he finds an outlaw who captured. I'm trying to remember what these all were. So I don't remember the Storm of Swords one, and it's all about Merit Frey. I remember one of them someone's getting hung. That was an interesting one. Oh yeah, Peter Frey or something like that. Pimpled Peter, Peter Pimple. The epilogue. Well, we might just go through next week. We're gonna do, if you guys don't mind, because it's a quick read, the prologues and epilogues of each book and see how George gives us a hint for what happens in that book or the next books down the road, and what we can get for the Winds of Winter out of them. Ooh, right?
That would be cool.
The Varamir Sixskins ones, it's definitely about John and Bran. Because it's a lot about what not to do when you're warging.
Yeah.
And then Bran starts fucking doing it.
Yeah, he does. And also what happens after you die as a warg.
Who had the prologue in book 3 though?
Book 3 isn't that A Storm of Swords?
Yeah.
The prologue. Okay, so the epilogue is the one about the phrase, trying to pay off a outlaw who captured Peter. And let's see what the prologue.
That one was a hell of a cliffhanger epilogue too, with Lady Stoneheart.
Right. Storm of Swords prologue is Chet's hatred of Jon Snow and Sam Tarly.
It's full of White Walker stuff.
Right.
Because it's about the battle that happens in season, at the end of season 2, at the Fist of the First Man.
Right.
So we get to see the thing from Chet's point of view.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I remember he pisses himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're going to do, that'll be fun. Prologues and epilogues. And we're going to end in a few minutes. So if you guys got any more stuff, please throw it in there.
Maybe we should all read the prologues and epilogues.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
It's not that they're not that long. And,
no.
And I guess we don't have to do all of them.
No, we can do a stream. We'll read. Even if we only get through a prologue, we could do the epilogue the next. I mean, it's not like the book's coming out next week, so we got time.
But it's coming out for Christmas.
I'm hoping
Christmas list.
I called that. I think I called that.
You know what though? With all
January.
the shit that's written in between the lines and all the foreshadowings and all that,
it's very interesting.
And him not killing off characters,
right?
That's where it piles up.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and then he keeps saying yes to everything else, which just fucks up the whole thing.
Yep.
But I get why the writing would take long. It shouldn't take, 14 years now?
Right.
Soon.
And a pandemic in there.
Long.
Come on,
that's
man.
Inexcusable.
It really is. 2020 should have been his year.
Robert Jordan had the same thing in his Wheel of Time books, and he had thousands of characters too.
Right.
I wonder if he has a form of writer's block that's kind of like PTSD, where he was so just tortured and just beaten down by the ending of the TV series.
That he had to start
and
another
getting blamed
series.
for it.
Well, no, but and getting blamed for it, like
Yeah.
like Sig says. So maybe he's just every time he sits down to write, he has this anxiety that kind of riles up, and it just. I'm not saying that his millions of dollars couldn't fix it, but
right. There's one I believe, the Marinese knot. The whole Dany getting to Westeros, how to end that. I mean, he was supposed to have her go toward a shy before she came to Westeros.
Yeah.
And he had to scrap that.
Yeah, it's the first show they screwed him over, right?
Yeah.
And now it's happening again, which is why he's so pissed.
Yeah.
They flat out lied to him twice.
Yep.
And he's done a lot of work on both shows.
But this time it's worse because he put things into he made sure there was certain reasons that they couldn't happen, and it still did.
Well, I mean, he had the outline, and the outline wasn't the truth.
Yeah.
You know, like the book, this story is finished. I know there's a lot to fill in, but this story is finished. One man show just says he lost interest in it, like flavor fatigue for writers. Yeah, maybe, but one thing I hate when people do is try to like make excuses like, George, see, this is what happened after 2016, the whole Me Too movement and the change in society. George is scared to put out the books because of the violence and this and that towards women and this and that. And that's just not true.
No.
Okay. George is an ultra feminist. You know,
he actually schooled the hell out of a feminist in one of the panels. It was glorious.
Yep. I would love to see that. I haven't watched that one.
I mean, as someone who suffers from anxiety, I can buy that. And being a woman, right, which is the reason why I'm susceptible to anxiety. But assuming men could ever feel that way, I could really see that being a huge stumbling block to overcome. And he does have so much other stuff that kind of flashes on the sides going, oh, I can do that instead. Oh, I'll do this instead today. And it just unfortunately becomes
imagine
worse
all the
worse.
offers he gets.
Yeah. And also imagine every year that passes, that enormous pressure that he's under doubles.
Yeah.
So
and you keep adding pressure, Scott, by telling everyone it's coming out. Wow.
It's coming out this year.
yeah,
we'll have it.
You know,
I think we're lost on that one.
And you know, keeping his morale up when he keeps getting screwed over, stuff like that, and he probably knows book 6 is going to be under enormous scrutiny.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Think about, I mean, you know, I've only been doing this for, I think this is like my 5th or 6th year doing this now. George has people that have been dissecting his books since the 90s. I mean, there's that group he was loosely involved with that they would knight people and swear them in. I don't know if it was Order of the Green Hand, but there was a group in the 90s that kept moving on. And as the years have gone on, and because of the first show, it has gotten so big that, you know, people have put him, and me included, on like a level above. Like, you're up there with Tolkien. That must be so Tolkien. That must be just so much pressure that now it's like, if you don't finish the books, you are nothing.
And here's another thing. You know, the ending when they sit down and you know, plan how Westeros is going to be run from now on.
Yeah,
I think that is the ending, and people hated it.
Yeah, so much
passion. And George is sitting there going, "Oh shit, that's where I'm going."
Yeah, but see, George, and I've said this right after that we were doing the show, and probably can go back and see me say it either that week or the next week. No matter if that was what he told them, George will get us there in such a better way. The idea that Dany being this slaughterer, I could see that happening, but George would make it that we like look back and we're like, holy crap, there were clues. Unlike
you couldn't see it on the show.
right, the show was like, you remember she put all those guys up on crucifixes, like crosses. Yeah, but she did that because they did that to children.
There's nothing more supposedly masochistic than assuming that a woman went crazy overhearing bells. I mean, I can't see
when the bell,
even if he isn't a feminist, I can't see him pulling that.
Well, when bells in her life mean victory, the Dothraki put bells in their hair because they won, not John Con, who the bells made him lose Robert, and then it killed because he lost Robert. That battle could have ended the war before it even started. Ends up losing his best friend / crush, Rhaegar. That is the bells,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then again, all that pressure and all, Robert Jordan did it just fine. And George Martin just did like a blog when he whined about, there's so much fascism in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Jordan was in a chopper in the Vietnam War, and I think he got shot down twice.
Mm-hmm.
Tolkien was in World War
One,
and he was writing the Lord of the Rings and stuff during World War II. And I was like, was fascism on the rise during World War II?
A little bit
more so than now. Yet he still managed to write.
Yep.
No. You see, they didn't have a thing called Twitter back then, so like they had it pretty easy.
Words hurt, guys. Words hurt.
And nothing is worse than Orange Man bad. It just trumps every other possible historical figure.
It's insane the vitriol that guy's getting. It doesn't add up with what he's actually said and done.
Right.
At all. No way is he worse than Bush or something.
Right.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see what some history students that are getting an undergraduate degree in history or possibly even a doctoral writing a thesis comparing what our attitudes towards certain leaders today compared to the reality of generations ago.
It'll be in about 50 years.
Also, what kind of information will they be having in front of them to be used as facts?
Truth.
Right.
Truth. We're gonna wrap it up, but I want to end with Kirsty Angel. She had two about Nymeria again. She has something here. I have to put it together. Nymerios plays into Nightmare, Long Night, Name, Numerous, Faceless Men, and Nysar equals Nisa equals from Fey realm, and etymology equals one who sacrifices themselves. She was a child of the forest who took human form, I think. Nymeria, really.
Interesting.
And then she goes on, Nymeria's star, the white one, shining bright, and the band behind the stars equals her 10,000 ships. That's the corpse queen with the children of the forest she sacrificed as the ships in their necromancy, dark ritual magic. Oh, man.
Oh, you know what? Euron is said to use blood magic to make his ship go faster.
Right.
Which might not be true, but he does have that warlock.
Yep. He has quite a few. He has 3 warlocks. Kirsty then goes on to say Daenerys backwards is Serenade. Dany is a singer, last child of the forest, and lastly, and a Stoneheart is a bloodstone, which is Great Empire of the Dawn, if you want to think about it.
Very stabbable if you want like blood magic into your sword.
Right. And Miss Martin Muses, who is a panelist in front of the channel. I'm so happy that I don't have to defend Gurm on this. All right.
I'm thinking it's something in the middle. Yes, he definitely deserves stick.
Yeah.
Because it's been 14 years.
Yeah.
But there's also I don't think any other writer has had that much pressure.
Right.
And he's constantly being screwed over.
Yeah. Because it's not even global fantasy readers. This is now people that fell in love with the shows too that want this book because they went back and read the books.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I'll bash them, but also defend them.
Same here, man.
Right? Because a lot of sites take what he says out of context to just get clicks.
Yep.
Because
and other sites defend him to the bitter end, which is ridiculous.
Because I saw that one interview where he supposedly bashed Tolkien. He actually never did.
Mm-hmm.
All he said was
I remember the headline.
Yeah.
This is what Martin thinks Tolkien got wrong. That's not what he said.
And it was nothing like that.
No, he was talking about himself as a 13-year-old reader.
Yes.
And he read the book, and it was Gandalf dying, and it had such an impact on him.
Yep.
And when he was brought back,
that
previous impact was kind of nullified.
Right.
Right.
And that's why
Which is actually it makes sense. And then he jokingly said that stuff, Aragorn ruled long and wisely. That's what it says.
Right.
And he was like, does that mean he killed all the orc babies and everything? Because that would be wise.
Right. And what was his tax reform and stuff?
He was just joking. But everyone who's read The Lord of the Rings were probably thinking what happens next.
Yeah. Oh, I know I was.
So that means we're all attacking Tolkien then.
Yeah. Yeah. And that it just doesn't make any sense. But does that mean
at the same time, George Martin made a video on YouTube where he was talking about his love for Tolkien and praising the heck out of him and said, you can't compare the two of us.
Right.
Because we're writing completely different stories. He said it was the best compliment he had ever gotten to be compared to him, but it didn't work. And then what was going on at the same time, there was like a huge vote thing on the best fantasy work ever written.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin says, vote for Tolkien over me.
Yeah.
Because Tolkien is better. And he said he was going to vote for Tolkien. And then hysterical Tolkien fans actually were, oh yeah, Martin's pissing on Tolkien, blah, blah, blah. Yet he's there telling people to vote for Tolkien over himself.
Right.
It's retardando.
Right. One thing I found interesting in that you just brought back up is that how that the return of Gandalf kind of sullied the death of Gandalf. So why would he bring John back?
And that's why I think he's not bringing John back. There's going to be someone else in there.
If the body does return, it's not going to be John.
Yeah. Oh, Felicia. John is going to be in the wolf. He's going to be a ghost.
Yeah.
Maybe the ghost at Winterfell, because that would count as a Stark.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, that means that there would be a Stark in Winterfell at all times then.
Yeah, true.
Maybe that one there. Yes, I had to wait. Book 7 had come out when I started reading them in Norwegian, but they started charging an arm and a leg for them, so I switched over to English, right? Which had the more books that come out in English.
Mm-hmm.
So I finished book 7, and then 8 came out, and after that I had to wait, and a couple of my friends had to wait as well, and we were just rereading up until the point where we didn't have anything else. So we were doing what we're doing, theories, and it's actually Robert Jordan is the closest anyone has gotten to Tolkien and finished, but he's also the one that's closest to George Martin.
He's like their love child.
Yeah, he's the natural in between the two of them.
Yeah, it's the whole reason why Good Take Bojan won't read the books until they're done, because of what he went through with Wheel of Time. He was very happy with the ending. He didn't have issues with it, but he said the wait was so torturous.
We get it.
You know what? If you're looking to do the Wheel of Time on audio, make sure to get the original audiobooks, because now Amazon has started replacing them and having Rosamund Pike do the audiobooks. To promote their TV show, which is
why?
Yeah,
can't
the
wait.
ones who did it
I mean, why?
originally nailed it because they had a guy reading the male chapters and a lady reading for the female chapters.
Oh,
It was
that's
Oh,
so
that's
perfect.
cool.
sexist. That's
Both
sexist.
did a 10 out of 10. Yeah, Kate Redding and Michael Kramer. Felicia.
I'm going to start reading The Wheel of Time now.
Yeah,
By the time I finish,
I got Miss Martin to read it, and she's hooked.
yeah, by the time the books, it's 14 books, right?
Yeah,
Is it 14? Yeah, 14 books. By the time this slow ass reader finishes them, I'll only have to wait maybe another year.
Well,
Mhm.
book
Martin will either have
14
published the books or is dead. So by then.
book 4 has book 14 has a chapter that's over 200 pages. I think it was maybe 280 pages.
Oh wow.
One chapter where the whole
One
shit
chapter.
hits the fan, and it's switching everyone.
Yep.
And it's all connected. It's nuts.
Yep.
So, and little stupid things that you thought wasn't important in the middle books, because people keep saying the middle books are kind of boring, nothing happens. It all pays off in the end. It was there for a reason.
Well, we're going to end with Kirsty Angel because I like what she says here. My heart goes out to George. I love him. Genius wordsmith, which I agree with. Just about every sentence having at least two meanings. His play on metaphors and knowledge and use of the Bible and mythology is outstanding.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He is
And then-
maybe the most technically gifted writer I've ever read.
Dude, he paints not even a picture. Most other books, like I've told you guys before, Tolkien, it was a picture in my mind that he created, but with George, it's actual, like I see a movie in my mind of the characters. It's amazing. And Felicia says, if you guys like Wheel of Time, you should check out Stormlight Archives.
Yeah, by Sanderson.
Oh yeah, you've told me about Sanderson. All right, I really got to go. I got to get up early tomorrow. Guys, this was a shit ton of fun with all the new people adding to the chat, like Kirsty and Felicia and
The chat is everything.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. Jane, as always, Liam stopped by. We had quite a few other people, Jen X Jennifer, Mecca Stover, Zax. I guess Zax was here. Kolniski, and if I missed you, I'm really sorry because there was somebody else I know I wanted to say something to, but Teresa, of course.
Adega.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Teresa.
Doc was here early on too.
Who was?
Odega, Doc.
Oh, Odega, of course. Odega has a great channel. Check him out. Lovely Sherry was here. There was one other person that said a couple
Mr.
things.
Gregory.
Oh yeah, that guy.
One Man Show was here a lot.
Yep. Oh, definitely. One Man Show always comes back and puts a comment in the comment section on YouTube. I appreciate that, my friend. There was like a Anna or Anna. All right. Well, I'm sorry. Love you all, guys.
What about all your friends on Rumble and Odyssey? Have you checked that out?
Of course, Odyssey. I have like $88 in Odyssey money, so thank you. Rumble. Every week I get about one new person compared to YouTube where I lose 10. So I appreciate Rumble massively.
You know what?
Closing in on 500.
If you stream in high definition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get 80 from it, it'll be ADHD.
Oh man. And we're out. Here's first a commercial, and then we'll leave with some ending.
Leave when I offended everyone.
That was awesome. Later, everybody. Thank you.
Where's the best place for content on the world of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
Sporking News Podcast with me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe.
I can't stop laughing at that. All right, bye everybody.